Alright, so let's move on to task 2. Jamal has requested you to deliver a presentation at the next Board of Trustees meeting. Alright, so I've highlighted that because it tells you your audience, it tells you the way in which you need to present your solutions, and it also tells you that it should be strategic information that you give, because that's what they are interested in, which will be attended by all members of the senior management team. Well, okay, doesn't change anything that I've already said. Requirement, produce presentation slides. Now, a couple of words on slides. Okay, first of all, you will have, of course, the slide option, as you see here on the left-hand side, in the examination. You have a choice. You can use the slide option to present your answers, or you can simply use the WP. Just continue using the WP to produce your slides and notes, and I'll show you how that works in just a second. So produce slides with notes for your presentation, which Part A identifies and evaluates the current resources and competencies of First Aid. Okay, so tell me about what the current resources are. Tell me what the current competencies are. So that sounds like 2 slides there, one for resources, the other for competencies. Okay, 9 marks. That probably talking about, I don't know, at least 4 points on each. Sorry, 4 points to be made. Okay, so 2 points for each slide, something like that. But the thing with slides is that typically the marking scheme for slides is 1 mark for each point and accompanying note. All right, so slides are slightly different. It's difficult to get 2 marks for 1 point in a slide. So really here we're talking about 2 slides. We're probably talking in total about 9 different points in total on the 2 slides. Okay. Professional skills, skepticism when evaluating the information. Now you display your skepticism when you are writing your notes. Okay. Do we have enough resources and competencies? So 4 points. I say 4 points. Actually, it's more than that. It's likely to be 8 in total. Okay, so 4 points per slide is probably what I meant. Per slide, because we're going to have 2 slides. And then we're going to stop at 11:07. That's our finishing time. Remember, absolutely vital. That's what we do. And then in part B, advises the meeting how those resources. So here we have to advise. So tell them this is what we think we need to do. How they must change. Okay, so what do we need to do differently? If the new strategic direction is to be implemented successfully, 6 marks. And the professional skill is communication. Okay, which is a typical professional skill in your slides. Now, that brings about 3 points that you're going to make in total. Okay, and again, it's going to be 2 slides, right? Because you're going to have 1 slide for how resources must change, and another slide for how competencies must change. Okay, so 2 slides. I think 6. It's 3 points per slide again, and finishing part B at 11:21. Now, how do we create slides? Here are the things to remember. Number 1, you will never have more than 4 points on each slide. And your points will be short. They will not be sentences. They might be a phrase, okay? Because no one is going to sit there and read what you've written on your slides. Those are just there to bring the highlights to the audience's attention. Okay, so your slides themselves must be short points, okay, and no more than 5. No more than 5. Okay, so for example here, current resources, finance, network including volunteers, knowledge, contacts. Okay, threshold is, well, you'll need to do your revision on that, right? A threshold resource and a unique resource, something that you must have as a threshold resource, and a unique resource is something that we have that others do not have. Okay, and then I have notes. Now here, what I would do is I would number them. Oops. And you'll see why in just a second. Okay, I would number them. And the reason for numbering them is because then I'm going to number the points, the notes as well, so that the marker sees that note number 1 deals with item number 1 on the slides. Okay, item number 1 on the slides. So it's just easier. So in slides, you should aim to get 1 mark for this point and the note that goes with it. All right, then I have competencies in slide 2, and you can see what I've written here. Okay, what are we good at? What strengths do we have? Okay, and then I explain each of them in my notes. And then in slide B, which remember asks us what needs to change, well, with new resources we're going to need is money and volunteers. And so I have notes for each of those. And new competencies, infrastructure, project expertise, running more than one project at a time. Up until now we've only been doing one at a time, and infrastructure project excellence. In other words, how do you manage infrastructure projects? They're not easy to do. Okay, they're long-term and they are complex. And then I explain all of these in the notes. All right. As I say, I'm not going to read through each of these. You will have access to these answers as well, so you can read them as well as I can. That's task number 2.